it's clear out day, and hello. I've just filled a tub of water and the ducks have all been in it. As you can see, I made a massive mess, but that's what ducks are known for, and I will clean it up after they're done. But what I wanted to actually talk to you about was animals and poisonous substances. So this chicken coop is right underneath a yew tree, and at this time of year there are yew berries all over the floor, and they are really toxic. So when I first had this problem, I got really worried that as soon as the birds came running out in the morning, they would grab these yew berries and eat them. And that's exactly what they were doing. And we've probably all heard the stories about cows eating acorns or yew and dying, and then ragwort getting dried up and put into hay for horses and other ruminants, and again that causing toxicity problems. But I have found that chickens, like many other birds, are very clever in that they eat the yew berries and they eat the flesh of the berry, and then they don't actually eat the seed inside, and it's the seed that is toxic. The actual flesh isn't. So don't worry if there are yew berries falling into your coop. They are unlikely to get poisoned by them because their natural instinct is just to eat the flesh. As with many other native birds, you see blackbirds and things eating the berries all the time and they don't get sick. That's a very wet duck. I'm going to leave you with this picture of a very wet duck. Check back tomorrow. Well, those little seeds for next year are doing really well, and this is the hollyhock tray, although you can obviously see there are some rogue seeds, but I think these are snapdragons that I accidentally sowed from the other tray into this tray. They've taken a while to come up. They've come up quite sporadically, so I only had 2 or 3 to begin with and I was quite disappointed, but then all of a sudden we've had more appear. So there's quite a lot in this tray, and then actually, as you can see here, this one's only literally just coming up, so quite sporadic in their germination. We've got Nicotiana in this tray. They're all starting to come up. We've got some little snapdragons coming up in here, and then here the first Aquilegia is just starting to appear as well. So although we are almost into November, it's nice to have seeds to look after. So these are getting to the stage now where they've got their first leaf, so I'm going to start probably pricking them out and potting them on. But it's not too late, guys. If you want to put stuff in for next year and you've got a cold frame or greenhouse or a conservatory, you can still start growing these biennials and hardy annuals for next year. Well, 'tis the season to worry about foxes, because Mr. Fox has been digging and trying to get in. Now obviously, as you may remember, last year I lost quite a few birds to Mr. Fox, my Exworth flock and my first ever silkie, so I popped these in and kind of tried to fortify this coop because he ripped into the lid up here. But you can see there's some holes that I need to clear up. He's obviously also been in some veg beds. So for most of the year he's not around. In the summer months they tend to stay out more in the scrubland because there's plenty to eat, but obviously whatever there is to eat has started to reduce now, and now every night they're coming into the garden and digging up. So just beware that this time of year foxes are going to be on the prowl even more than normal. So take extra precaution. So these girls are pretty much safe. I just need to make sure I do barricade up these. The poultry yard flock will only now be coming out when I'm at home. They'll stay in their shed the rest of the time because foxes do roam in the daytime as well. So it's worthwhile just taking extra measures to make sure everybody is kept nice and safe. Well, this is my cage with Sunny, who is in perpetual I want to have babies mode, and her new mate, who I haven't actually named yet, but as you can see she is very much deciding time to have babies. And she's only been in here for a week. So, she's a good mama. Aren't you? I doubt she's got eggs yet. Because as I say, she's not been in here very long with him. But it'll be interesting to see their babies. I can't wait. Now she's out, let's just see if we can have a little look in the nest box. No, so as I suspected, no eggs as yet, but it won't be long, I don't think. And let's hope there's not quite as much drama as there was last year with Sunny and her new mate. She's just disappeared into the nest box. Well, as I mentioned earlier in the week, Fox has been around, and as you can see, Foxy's also been into the spinach bed. So he's dug around a little bit. As you can see, there's a couple of chard plants gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cover this. I'd cover it anyway because these little spinach seedlings won't survive frost. They need to be older than this to have any chance of surviving. So I'm going to cover them over with a cloche, and that cloche will also help protect these little plants from digging foxes, because as you can see, he's not even dug this one, but he's snapped a leaf off. So let's go and get that cloche on. There we go. This cloche I think was only like $3.99 or something from the range. I got it last year, so this will just help cover the crops. Go under here. That will just ensure that these little crops can grow safely protected from frost, but also, and probably more importantly, safely from being dug up by the fox, who is obsessed with the raised beds. So let's hope that that gives me a nice crop of chard and spinach. Well, as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago now, I think, I said I was going to get back into microgreens, and I did. So I grew 4 lots. I grew, I grew basil, pak choi, sunflowers, and radish. And this is just a little sunflower and radish mix, and it does need more to it. It's a bit too green. It needs some more colour on it. But I'm playing around with obviously growing the microgreens, working out how they all grow. I haven't really got used to basil yet. Basil seems to be quite difficult to get going. What I did harvest of the basil was quite nice. This is really, really yummy. You can see also it did get a little bit leggy, so I need to obviously move them closer to the grow lace. There's quite a lot of stem on there. And what I've also found is some little plastic bags. So these are gusseted bags, and they're actually made from cellulose, so they are completely biodegradable. They are obviously more dearer, but I think it works out about 8p per bag, which I think, for if you're selling on to customers, it's not too bad when this can be composted and it'll break down in the compost and leaves no trace. So I don't think that's a bad price point. I would prefer a shorter squatter bag, I think, rather than this long thin bag, because ultimately if you're selling them, let me turn it over how it would be sold. It would be sold like that, which is a fairly small bag of microgreens. There's not a lot there. I think there needs some more colour in there as well, but it's kind of fun just playing around with products and mixing different microgreens together and seeing how it'll be. So that's what I'm spending the day doing today, really, researching some more bag sizes that are made of cellulose, they'll completely break down, and putting on some more microgreens so I can have a play around with different flavour combinations and different products. Well, of course, it is that time of year, pumpkins. And following on from last week where I started to make bread, I'm trying to purchase as few products as possible that are wrapped in plastic, and that obviously means making more from scratch. So I've got these 3 pumpkins that were actually gifted to me. So I'm planning on some pumpkin bread, some pumpkin pie, some roast pumpkin, and some pumpkin soup. I've never made any of these, so although this channel isn't turning into a cooking channel, you may see a bit more to do with using up veggies and things, because that is kind of homesteading life and reducing plastic rolled into one, because you're living off the earth and eating what you grow. This, by the way, is the remains from those microgreens that I showed you earlier in the week. So you can see that their stems were quite high, and I normally take them off lower down, but these are great, and these can be fed to, I'll probably feed these to the finches and the budgies and things like that. And then I can put all of this entire thing, including that coconut coir, straight into the compost. But for now, I'm going to be looking up some recipes to use up these pumpkins, so I can bake more, make more, and use less plastic.